Today I'm going to speak to you about a United Scots, the oorNews Multiphonologic Spelling System, our proposal for a pan-dialectical orthography for written Scots. So why do we need a new spelling system? Stay wit, defit. So at the moment, we have this situation for all the main dialects of Scots are using their own phonetic spelling system. Again, most everyday Scots speakers for the North East wouldn't read something in Scots for the Central Belt in the same way somebody for the Central Belt wouldn't be reading Doric unless they're a Scots language enthusiast. And this problem that we have is the dominant Solallans and the Central Belt dialect. Athen for the government and all the official channels, it alienates speakers for the North East, for the Northern Isles. It's just nae the way that we speak, the way that the written language is presented to us. And so fit we have is this risk of divergence. So without a common system, Scots is going to fragment into different distinct written languages. It already has, and we're not going to stop it for doing that. But this could hinder the official use and growth of Scots as a language. Having these distinct written forms, we didn't want to stop that from happening. That's beautiful. That's bonny. We didn't want to stop Scots and all the freedom that we have with it. This isn't a fit I'm suggesting with this. But the problem that we have, if we didn't have a common way of screeving together, we'll end up screeving together in English. Again, for an email between somebody from the Central Belt to Shetland, it's probably easier in English than in Central Belt Scots. So pan-dialectical orthography. So how can we unite Scots? And the fit I'm doing with this is to create an unbiased spelling system. So it's a spelling system for obvious taken sessions. And what we're going to have is multiphonological graphemes. So you have letters or groups of letters that are pronounced differently depending on variety. And that's the way that we get around it. And this accommodates the predictable differences that we have between the dialects. So it's not perfect, the spelling system, but most of the differences between the dialects are pretty predictable, and say this is who are accommodating it. This isn't a new idea. I came up with this again more than 5 years ago. I went public with it in September 2020 in the Scots Language Forum. At that point in time, I had a different idea for who to do the th or wh and who to get around that sound. So I've changed it to a different one based on the feedback. And yeah, the whole point with oorNews and what I'm doing, I want feedback from folk. And then let them know what you think, and let's work together to mark this. It's not just me. I want nobody's feedback about it. And what I'm doing with this, it's a proof of concept. It's not my intention, or oorNews' intention, to force a spelling system on anybody. It's been presented here, and it'll be demonstrated in the oorNews platform so you get feedback. It's going to be replacing the Shetlandic or Northern Isles Scots, because I speared at folk for Orkney that you talked about. The Northern Isles version, you thought that you'd rather have your own Orcadian version. If you want to do that, Ken, for it works for me to do it. I could do an extra pair of hands to do it. For this new, I'm replacing it with this pan-dialectical orthography. We can gang back to having Orcadian, Shetlandic, but I need more pairs of hands. And if anybody wants to join in with oorNews, just get in touch at info@oornews.co.uk. And happy to hear more folk working with me on this. And for future machine translation products for oorNews, a spelling system will be an option if the corresponding news articles get a readership. Again, if lots of folks start reading it and it's popular, again, there's value in hearing machine translation into it. So multiphonological graphemes. Say a grapheme, multiple sounds. Say the first grapheme that we're going to do is double A or O if it's for the south, or A if you're for the north. Say the example words being O, wo, bo, slaw, and snow, or A, wa, ba, sla, and sna if you're for the north. Right, so our next grapheme is a VH. If you're for the south, it's a wh, or if you're for the Northern Isles, it's a wh, or if you're for the northeast, it's a f. So we've got words such as fa, fit, far, and fu. That's for you to pronounce it. Again, if you're for the northeast, or if you're for the south, it'd be hwa, whit, for, and fu. The next thing that we have is DH. Now, if you're for the sooth, this is a th, and it's a wee bit different to a th sound. So you'll ken in English, the th represents more than the a sound. You get th and you get the. And this only represents a the sound. And if you're from the northeast, it's often a glottal stop. It's at the stair to a word, but nae I was. If you have rule for it, you'll often pronounce it as a the. And if you're from the Northern Isles, if you're from Shetland, it's a d. And if you're from Orkney, it's a the. Say words, examplines. If you're from South, you'd say the, that, mither, and dhegidher. If you're from the northeast, you'd say at, mither, and dhegidher. And if you're from Shetland, you'd say d, dat, midder, and dhegidher. The neistine is th. So just about all the time it's a th sound, but sometimes if you're from the south and from the northeast, you'll say a h. It's just to point out, again, sometimes you'd say hink as well as think. Neistine is ui. So if you're from the south, you'd say these words like good, food, afternoon, soon. If you're from the northeast, you say gweed, feed, afternoon, seen. And if you're from the Northern Isles, I think most used to say good and food. The neistine is ey. So this is to get around words such as like day and d. So if you're from the south, it's an a. If you're from the northeast, it's an e. So all these words would be day, nain, bane, and stain if you're from the south, or d, neen, been, or steen if you're from the northeast. Our neistine is hd. So this is most of the time a glottal stop, or sometimes a d. So it tends to be if you're from Edinburgh, you're going to pronounce and it'll be a d. And if you're from the Northern Isles, it's got to be a d most of the time and that. But for a lot of us, it's a glottal stop. So you'd hate al, cal, bal, ston, or stone if you're from the south of Scotland, or call if you're from the south of Scotland, or cal. The neistine is ydh, or yoch, back in all their English. In the scene, it's a y most of the time if you're from the south, but sometimes a the. And words such as zon or yon, and then same for the northeast. And then for the Northern Isles again, if you're from Shetland, it's a d. If you're from Orkney, it's a the. So you get y or the, you or thu, zon or yon, zonder or yonder. Again, neistine is a double I. This is to get around words such as spick, bricks, and sick that are often, it's speak, bricks, and seek for most of Scotland, but for a lot of northeast, it's spick, bricks, and sick. The neistine is WU. So this is for words like wood and quid. But for the south of Scotland, you'd say wood and quid, or wood and could, probably. So that's why I've put u or a for that, for wood or could. But for the northeast, that would be wood and quid. We got monophonologic graphemes. These are the same the whole while long. I wouldn't spend a lot of time going through all these. Again, you got heed, deed, and breed. Nay, hay, folly, windy. Again, it's the same the whole time. Fu, brew, coo, tune. Gee and geed. Ain, ainly, maist. It's the same for abdi. Want and water. Vainly pit. This is just AH, just to differentiate for you'd say an A instead of an O in English. Nuke, book, and look. It's the same. This actually could be multiphonologic. Nobody says hich, nicht, and bricht, but I think in Braid Scots, I think that's what we should do. But again, a lot of folks say night and bright. So again, maybe this could be a multiphonologic. Stoners and concessions. This is just some of my suggestions about what I'm got, and it's just what I'm got to do on oorNews. And I'm just going to give you as an example, or some formal written Scots in this type of spelling. I think there's a concession between the north and the south. I think we should always just use nay instead of no for not. But in the other way concession, I think for other contractions, we should say isn't, disney, and winnie. When they say, but leave it doon, isn't, dinny, and winnie. For other contractions, but I think we should decontractions in formal writing. French do it; they contract all the time. I think it's just richt. It doesn't sound richt. It's nae contracted. It's nae something that we're used to doing in Scots. It's to nae contracted. That's just my opinion, and that's what I'm doing with oorNews. And I think it sounds better for formal screefing to say isn't, dinny, winny, than to say them as separately. Again, till and te. Again, it's te if it's for the infinitive of a verb. Till if you're gone some way. These are just some other concessions potentially. And vocabulary. You'll hear me speaking about this all the time, but I think words feel French, Latin, and Greek are braw Scots words that we shouldn't be feared to using. What we shouldn't be doing is using an English word for we have Scots cognate. That's just again, and the whole point of doing this is unity. Again, it's pan-dialectical system. Again, it includes Abdi. That's what I'm trying to do with it. And I want an opinion of folk fae Galloway, Galloway to Shetland. I want your opinion on what you think about this. And we can mark it into something for Abdi. But yeah, I get involved. Just get in touch. Get on the website. And read my articles. And get in contact. Aye.